Good evening, Mr. Speaker and House. Why would we regret something that, according to many, is irreversible? Maybe because globalization is harmful. Maybe because instead of helping us to evolve further, economic globalization is pushing us to devolve. That is why I, as the first speaker of Side Proposition, am honored to propose this motion. This House regrets globalization. The key terms in this debate as far as Side Proposition is concerned are globalization and regret. Globalization we will define as the increasing economic integration and interdependence of national, regional and local economies across the world through intensification of cross-border movement of goods, services, technologies, and capital or money. We define regret as an emotion that arises from the wish that something, in this case a situation, could be other than it is. So we are hence defining the motion as why economic globalization is regrettable. Our parameters are that we will be dealing with economic globalization, not political and not cultural globalization, but we are looking at its worldwide effects. The context of this debate is that globalization may have been a trend seen almost all throughout history, a gradually increasing worldwide interdependence, but in the last decade especially, with the progression of technology particularly, the spread of globalization has been quicker and has been wider. With every major event, such as Brexit and Donald Trump's election to US president, we see that this debate has grown more important. Our burden of proof today is that economic globalization has regrettably degraded the quality of international society. I will be speaking on 2 points today. The first is the cultural effects of economic globalization, and the second is the mistreatment in labor due to economic globalization. So without further ado, I would like to move on to my first point, which is cultural effects. Globalization has led to many things that we've seen arise in social media as incredibly controversial issues. So cultural appropriation, the loss of indigenous and authentic cultures, and many other things that are related to the assimilation of different cultures into westernization. So populations may start to mimic international labor markets and the flow of capital when they're exposed more and more and more to Western models. And this can be seen in immigration and in the merging of cultures, which links to what I mentioned earlier about the loss of indigenous and authentic cultures. According to Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote *Sapiens: A Brief History of Humankind*, almost no indigenous or authentic culture exists anymore, and that is in part due to the cultural effects of economic globalization. Foreign resources and economic measures have influenced native populations drastically. They cause assimilation, so cultures become westernized and lose their individuality. As cultures are exposed to the English language, computers, Western music, and the North American culture, the changes occur that have been seen are the shrinking of family units, the immigration of people to larger cities, and thus a greater overpopulation of those cities and an inability to manage. And dating practices have become more casual. The uniqueness of these cultures are being lost because of economic globalization. And we as Side Proposition see this as one of the many reasons why economic globalization is a regrettable event. I would now like to move on to my second point, which is mistreatment, especially in labor. So the interconnectedness of globalization allows for corporations to be able to locate their places of production in areas that have little to no labor laws, and this allows for low labor costs. This is because of low labor costs. This mistreatment starts to occur especially of women and children, because there are poor working conditions and there's a lot of sexual harassment. This occurs especially in textile and agricultural industries in countries like Central America, where labor laws are low, and because of globalization, countries are able to develop production areas in those countries where they don't have to be as cautious of their workers' safety. So these jobs are also especially unstable, because when corporations decide to suddenly change locations or manufacturing rates in industries such as textile industries that employ more women especially, those women are left without jobs and without any assistance. And in relation to this also is the increase of health risks and health issues that have been seen rise along with economic globalization. And this is yet another reason that we as side proposition believe that globalization and economic globalization in this debate especially is something regrettable. Thank you.